from Los Angeles, California, with the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Oh, hello there, friends! Welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name's Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man who's completely without his pants and underwear and is currently jacking off a cucumber, pretending it's not his own micro dick. That's Jeff Clark.
Terrible. I hated it. I wanted to laugh like usual to go along with it, but that was really just terrible.
And transmitting to us from Europa, the bearded booger-eating space cowboy known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo. Brah, brah. That was very nice. I liked that one. Thank you.
Yeah? Do you get the reference?
No. So
Hey,
maybe
Jeff.
that's
Jeff, do you get the reference?
Oh no.
I feel like when I joined in on the Zoom during the Easter egg, I got an inkling that you might, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
well, now I get it, but I didn't know prior to that. Prior to you referencing Jeff and I talking about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, now that you kind of gave it away with that clue.
Yeah, you really walked us dummies into it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of dummies, I still cannot unsee the word holes across your t-shirt with a giant glove giving a middle finger.
It definitely says idols.
Yep, but
Pretty
for some
clearly.
reason, when you turn and it wrinkles, it looks like it could say holes, and it's just partly obstructed.
Yeah, when there's when you see it at an angle, that D could be an O. I hear you there. Are you working from home today, Shuddy, or do you just go to the shops or the stores wearing that shirt?
Yuck my dick, bitches. Who wants ya?
No. I had a zip-up hoodie on today over this, and I was at my office with more upper management. I was not. The reason I've had this shirt since I saw them October 13th, and
who the holes?
I haven't worn it yet I haven't worn it yet because I wanted to wear it for the video, and I haven't not been in a store on a Monday, so I haven't worn it. Today was the first Monday that I wasn't in a store prior to recording, so
well, all five
I could
people
wear it all day, and I didn't want to just wear it for a couple of hours to record.
All 5 people that watch the show on YouTube are going to be super pumped, and then they'll be bitching about how I'm blue.
It'd be hilarious if his zip-up hoodie was even more offensive than that shirt.
No, it's right here. It's just a Hurley hoodie. That's all.
Okay. I won't get you fired.
No.
Hang 10, bitches.
Careful about the example I set.
Absolutely. You're a leader in the big acai world.
They call him Sir Shuddy at work.
He's Capo Shuddy.
Nobody calls me Shuddy at work.
That'd be the end of their fucking employment.
That name is not spoken in work circles.
I should know this.
Not since the incident.
Oh, yeah.
I should know this clearly, but do you go by Rich or Richard or Dick?
Rich.
Okay. Do your employees have to call you by a different name? Because I thought about introducing myself as Jeffrey and then just allowing my friends to call me Jeff.
It's Drew now. Call me Drew.
No. Once I became a teenager, I went from Richard to Rich, and I'm only Richard when I'm in trouble.
Oh, okay.
That's when
Dick,
my mom's
you're
mad
Dick
at
when
me.
it's time to go to Pound Town.
Has Sharon ever called you Richard?
Sometimes when she's a little annoyed, she goes, Richard. So yes, she does it. She doesn't say it with as much anger as my mother does when the full name comes out.
It's more disappointment.
Yeah.
What about Ricardo?
Never. as a kid, I really wanted to be Ricky.
Ricky?
Well, why couldn't that happen?
It never, for some reason, it never stuck. Like my friends, I don't know. I don't know why it didn't stick, but I wanted to be Rick and Ricky.
I feel like Rickies are assholes. I have an uncle Ricky, huge douchebag. No one likes him.
Can we call you Ricky Boy?
And because my dad's name is Richard, also in family circles, I was
Shuddy.
Do you guys want to guess what they called me?
Dicky.
No, my mother forbade anybody from calling me Dick.
Richie.
Diddler.
I wish that
you would prefer Richie.
I was.
Wait, how about if they called your dad Rich, did they call you like Chard? You just get the second syllable?
Little Richard.
A wop bapa doo bapa bing bang poop.
Yep, my aunts and uncles always called me Little Richard, so it delineated that it wasn't my father they were talking to.
That would be pretty cool nowadays. I mean, that was probably pretty cool back then, but it'd be even cooler nowadays.
Does anybody want some Tutti Frutti? Oh man, Jesus Christ! What a bombshell, Ricky to Little Richard. Jesus.
I mean, I think Little Richard's a cool nickname.
How old were you when you tried to get Ricky to stick?
I mean, like little, like 6, 7, like late 80s when Ricky was not maybe a problem. Part of it was I really liked this movie as a kid called Winners Take All, which is a dirt bike movie.
Wow, I've never even heard of that.
The main character's name was Rick Mellon, and I just thought he was so cool.
Also, my last name is now Mellon. I'm Little Richard Mellon. How's that? How's that ghost been, Shuddy Boy? Has that ghost pissed in your ass yet?
There's been no activity that I have experienced and none that has been discussed.
So is there a chance that it wasn't a ghost? Or...
There's a chance that I offended him by talking about him to the Puminati last week.
Blown his cover.
Yep.
Don't look now. He's right behind you.
He's laying low until the dust settles.
He's peeling one of those Skeletors out of its blister pack as we speak. Very slowly.
There are actually currently no Skeletors in blister packs that
thanks to the ghost.
I shouldn't say that. I bought 2 off of clearance so I can paint them.
Now you're painting shit.
You've seen the ones I've painted.
You're just, I mean, it's just getting nerdier and nerdier. You've now crossed into like a Warhammer territory. I feel like we're like 50 episodes away from Shuddy Boy coming out as a LARPer.
Well, no.
I am Sir Little Richard. Knights of Ricky, defend my honor.
I was looking for different display stands because I need to maximize more of the shelf space. And Sharon insinuated that was a good indication that I didn't have space anymore and probably should stop.
Dude, you've garnered so much stuff that for the people that aren't watching this on YouTube, it's now crept up. There's like stacks on stacks on stacks. You can't even see the framed He-Man paintings anymore because there's He-Man toys in front of them.
I like how you said garner because Sharon definitely looks at it as spent stupid money on.
Those aren't there all the time. Those are just for this. Those are recent acquisitions.
So they just get like a week of screen time and then they're filed away.
Then they go to their permanent homes, typically. However, last week's new arrivals are just sitting in a pile over here. They had to be rotated out.
All right, time for all the kids to move out. I need the space. I think you can live on your own when you're under 18 in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, as long as you can get a job. You got to be 16 to get a job, right?
None of them are under 18 anymore.
Oh, get the fuck out. That's Skeletor's room now.
Brad will be 19 in January. And Draven's 23.
The dogs have been booted out of their dog houses. That's where Battle Cat lives now.
Kay's 20. Zach's 25. Jake's 23. Yeah, they're all fucking adults.
Time to start
but being
paying rent.
As I lived at home until I was like 32, I'm in no position to tell them that they're not allowed to.
So wait, you used to do MSPH from your parents' house?
Yes, you know this.
Well, I forget things like that.
In the very early days, I used to have to do it in weird random spots. Like I tried doing it outside when we first started so I could smoke weed. That didn't work.
Oh yeah, because we kept hearing like crickets and shit, right?
Yep. Then I did it in the basement a couple of times.
Then my mom found all of my piss jugs.
And then it was, then I would do it up in my bedroom. But yeah, boys and I lived there for quite a while.
I forgot about all that.
As did I.
We're just taking a whole trip down
memory lane, the good old days, you know?
Yep. Well, kind of feel like I have to get the bad stuff out of the way. Just because, a big part of MSPH is sharing our lives and stuff, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't want to bum people out, but just in case I disappear for a little bit, people know why. My dad's not doing all that great, and kind of got off to a really eerie start. This is kind of all over the place, but just bear with me a little. So the other week, actually a week ago today, I had this super realistic dream about my old friend Ralph Howard. So anybody who's a Howard Stern fan would know Ralph Howard from the early days of the Sirius XM shows. He used to be a reporter for 1010 Wins on AM radio in New York. I remember my grandpa had that station on his car round the clock. So I always heard this guy's voice. And then when I started working for Sirius, I became really good friends with him. And we shared an office at some points. When he had to come in and record his news briefings, he would come into the studio that I was in. And he died a couple of years ago. And I had a dream that I was back east with some of my old work coworkers having like a work party, and I see Ralph there. It was like he was, back from the dead, and he was talking to High Pitch Mike, who also was a character on the Howard Stern show and worked in the news department, and the two of them were always butting heads, but in a playful way, always taking shots at each other, goofing on each other. So in my dream, they were doing that. They're just sitting there trading barbs, and I came up behind him, and I was like, "Hey, Ralph." And without turning around, he goes, "Now there's a voice that I actually do want to hear." And he turns around and gives me this huge hug. And it was one of those ultra realistic dreams where like I could feel him. It was super eerie. It was like I had my friend back. And when I woke up, I just had this awful sense about me. Something just felt really off. I had this sinking feeling in my stomach, and like what happens to me 2 or 3 times a night. I got up and went and took a piss, and I go back to bed, and an hour later my phone rings, and it's my sister. And I was just like, oh, God. Doesn't she know about the time difference? Oh, I got to sleep. I'll talk to her when I wake up, and my alarm goes off. And then I fall back asleep. 10 minutes later, my mom calls me. And that was when I was like, oh, shit. All right. This something's definitely wrong.
Yeah, this can't be good if Joy and then mom call.
Yeah. So I call them back, and they were like, your dad's taking a turn for the worse. We just want to get you up to speed. He's been dealing with, a whole range of issues. He had COVID, and that hit him pretty hard, and he's been having blood clots in his lungs from it, and he's got pulmonary fibrosis, Heart goes into AFib a lot. Just tons and tons of problems lately. But he's been, he has his good days and his bad days. Last I saw him was almost 2 years ago when we went snowboarding together, and he was at a point where some days he couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs without just collapsing and gasping for air. But he had a good day where he could go and get at least a couple of runs with us on the mountain. And
so he's been sick for a little while. I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail this story. Okay.
Yeah, but obviously not this bad where there's phone calls going out. So they were like, yeah, the whole family is going down there to see him in the hospital. And I got to FaceTime a little bit with him. I called my sister, since I couldn't be there. I was like, when you get in the room with Dad, just FaceTime me so I can say hi and stuff. And it's tough. He's hooked up to so many machines and it's loud and he can barely talk. And of course the fucking signal was like spotty. So I'm like, what'd you say? But, I was in Jersey this weekend for a wedding, and, we were talking about going out to lunch and staying with them. And I booked my flights around that. I specifically got a later flight in the night so we could, go out and have a meal before I left. And then it was just like, okay, well, we're going to have to just go visit him in the hospital. And the reason I started with that story about Ralph Howard was I remembered later that day, I'm like, fuck, Ralph had a double lung transplant. So I Googled him, and I found his obituary, and Ralph had pulmonary fibrosis, like my dad. And when he was 70, he got a lung transplant. And it turned him into a new man. But lung transplants are a tricky surgery. They're a tricky transplant because, just think about the process of removing your own lungs. It's a huge strain on your body. They have to fucking butcher you. And for some reason, it's one of those transplants where your body continuously fights it. So the odds of making it a year after that surgery are, I don't know, I think 80%, which is a fairly decent survival rate. But if you think about 2 in 10 people don't even make it a year, it's scary. And it just kind of goes up. And they're better at treating that stuff now, but your body is constantly fighting it. So you're always on antibiotics. You're always on these anti-rejection medications, and they destroy you. They shred you. And every day, it's almost like D&D. Every day you wake up, you roll the die, and hope for a good roll because an infection or your body is just like, this is the day when it rejects it. You never know.
My Aunt Lee had a heart and both lungs transplanted.
Cool. Oh my God.
I was 6. So back in 87, she was one of the first recipients, and she, at the time, was the longest living.
No shit.
Because she ended up living until, so I was 5 or 6. That makes my cousin Scott. He's 2 years younger than me. He was like 3 or 4. And she saw him graduate high school and make it through his first year of college before she passed away. So she lasted 18 years. But every single day, your anti-rejection medicine, she got bronchitis constantly.
Yeah.
And it was like debilitating. Couldn't be around her. She was constantly having to go into New York City to be checked by the doctors. Sorry, I'm derailing the story.
No, that's okay. Yeah, you know firsthand what it's like. And my buddy Ralph, he made it 7 years. He died at 77.
That's great. That's a new lease on life.
Yeah. And it was tough when he passed because we stayed in touch. Every time I put up a picture on Facebook of me doing some stupid stunt or some shit, he always had like a wisecrack comment. When we worked together, every time we passed each other in the hallways, or every day when I saw him, I would do his impression to him. Like every time I saw him, I'd go, "I am Ralph Howard," and he would go, "No, I'm Ralph Howard." He was the fucking greatest guy in the world. Like everybody that knew Ralph, everybody that met him, just loved him to death. Just a really, really sweet guy. And it was after Googling that and seeing that, you know, it was pulmonary fibrosis that took him out, and just having that dream an hour before getting that call about my dad was eerie as all fuck. So, you know, the plans were to, you know, go to the wedding this weekend. I went to my cousin's wedding. It was fucking great. And it was really good seeing family. I saw some people I hadn't seen in years. It was rough seeing, you know, the card of my dad's name on it just sitting at the table after everybody took theirs. And after the ceremony, while, you know, everybody was getting dinner and stuff, we got the news that he went into cardiac arrest, and his organs are failing, and he's basically just being kept alive by machines right now. He's not conscious. I got to go see him in the hospital, and I'll try and get through this without ugly crying, but whew, that is something that'll stick with me forever. It's rough seeing all that stuff going into him, and you just feel helpless. You know, you can't. I was talking to him and just hoping that it somehow got to him. Seeing my family there just completely broken was awful. You know, my dad's 59. Just turned 59 this summer. You know, he was 19 when he had me. He was always the young dad. And seeing him like that was just crushing. And I don't know what the next couple days are going to be like. But I don't think there's good news. We met with one of the people who's on the committee of, you know, getting a lung transplant. When pulmonary fibrosis is degenerative, it just gets worse. It never gets better. And you do get to the point where you need a lung transplant, and he needs one. If he doesn't get a lung transplant, that's it. And with all of his organs failing, he can't survive the surgery. So they don't think it's going to happen. And, you know, if the worst happens, I might have to take a little bit of time off, spend some time on the East Coast. You know, I don't think it'll be longer than a week, so I know obviously family is a priority and stuff, but I have a hard time switching off and being here with you guys, shooting the shit, telling jokes, goofing on each other, telling stories is a good distraction. So I don't want to disappear for a while. You know, the Patreon is this churning machine that's always cranking out stuff, and I don't want to screw over anybody that's paying for that. But I might need a week or so. So hopefully people won't get too bummed about that. But it's been a rough couple of days. You know, we had plans to, you know, go. He had this buddy that he wanted me to meet and talk shop with, and we were going to go and get lunch together and stuff. And we were just talking about that like 2 weeks ago. And then that like, you know, us hanging out, going out to lunch, doing all this stuff turned into me just talking to him on life support. I just can't believe it. I can't believe how fast it all changed. It's insane. It's fucking insane. It's terrible. And I don't know, I've just been thinking a lot about him lately, and thinking about all the stuff we did together when I was a kid, and my dad loved movies, loves comedy, loves laughing, loves telling jokes and stuff, and the two of us at one point in time were like Beavis and Butthead. Like when I was like, I don't know, when did Beavis and Butthead come out? What were we like, 12 or 11 or 12 or something? You were probably way
like
younger than
92, 93. Yeah.
Okay, so I was like
say
9 or 10 maybe. And like my dad took me to see my first R-rated movie in the theater, Passenger 57. I remember.
Always Bet on Black.
We talked about that movie for like 2 hours after we were going to see it. Oh, that was so sick. Oh, did you see how he killed that last bad guy? He got me when I wasn't allowed to listen to hip hop. He snuck me a cassette of Dr. Dre's The Chronic when that came out. I had to like listen to it in secret in my room.
That's one of my favorite little kid Kevin Kraft stories.
Getting The Chronic?
And your father being like, all right, don't tell your mom I got you this.
Yeah, he got me into a whole bunch of music. He got me into Sabbath. He got me into Van Halen, hip hop and stuff. So
I have a young father too, and I feel like that's like the best thing that they're for. Is like our culture taste is pretty on point because of our young parents.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's weird just thinking about the worst that could happen, and trying to stay positive and trying to stay optimistic, and it's tough. But yeah, I just wanted to get everybody up to speed on that. In case, things can turn on a dime and I'm on the next flight out of here.
Well, like Jeff and I have been telling you over the last week, every time you've, discussed it with us, whatever you need, we've got your back, him there on the West Coast, me here on the East. I am not that far, and my work schedule is flexible enough that I can be wherever you need me to be. And if the Puminati's got any kind of problem with it, I've got 2 words for them.
Oh, geez, Shuddy.
And now they'll have to watch the YouTube video and get the numbers up to figure out what that was.
Now, I believe the Puminati will be chill about it. I mean, how could they not be? It's such a gut punch, buddy. And yeah, we're all here for you. Obviously,
Kevin's the one that usually pulls us out into something. I was trying to do that, and it didn't really. I didn't land the plane very well.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if you obviously need time off, gotta spend time with the family, no worries. Puminati won't care either. And if you need anything on my end, whether it be a ride to the airport or just someone to hang out with, shoot the shit, and try to tell jokes and not think about all this stuff, holler at me. I know it's a bummer, but gotta hope for the best. And we'll see what happens, type thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, don't know exactly how to transition out of that one, but why don't we try? Wait, what? Where the fuck did someone fuck with this fucking
voicemails? Yay!
There we go. Let's put the pressure on the Puminati to dig us out of that one.
I watch it just be like a series of depressing voicemails. I can't. Poop and Kathy, if we ever need you to shit,
oh God,
right now,
please, you pooping angel, save us.
Please shit right in our ear holes.
Okay, I think this is
Better not be another
where we left
me
off.
sucking a wiener button.
Yeah,
I don't know how I managed to get this fucking high already.
I do. You just inhaled a sleeping bag full of weed vapors.
It's not the big one. It's a normal size one. But I may have done 2 back to back. So.
Guess you answered your own question.
All right, let's see what this human has to say. And God damn it, you better be funny. No pressure.
I believe this is Mad Science Party Hour. My name's Ken. I'm calling from Canada. I had a couple questions for you. First one, I wanted to know if you've ever had a poop facial splashback. This is when you are taking a poop.
Okay, I will say this. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, you're already starting off on a strong note.
Poop, and you're looking at the reflection of your poop in the water between your legs while sitting on the toilet.
Okay, has anybody ever spread their legs on the toilet while they're taking a shit and looked at the water so they could see their butthole's reflection?
No, and I think I've always been too fat for this move. I don't think there's enough, I don't think there's ever been enough space where I can see a reflection.
Hey, I want to see my asshole pooping. Cheech, grab me a mirror.
Watch the poop come out in the reflection, and when it hits the water, it makes a little explosion, and droplets of water fly between your legs and into your face.
This guy's insane.
That's a poop splashback facial. And I also wondered if you guys have ever had a poop that was so large and so fast coming out of your butt that it almost put your butthole into shock. This is when you take a large poop super fast, and like in a porn where there's anal being done, your butt is left open, the size of the poop that came out, and it just stuck that way for a minute.
Okay,
the universe literally was like, you know what, Kevin, you need something? We got you. We got you. Here you go. This guy is just completely just, pun intended, talking out of his ass. It's ridiculous.
Like, I don't think I've ever checked my ass after taking a shit.
But see, this all goes back to him watching the reflection, so he's down there to know that.
Yeah, he also
that's how he knows that his butthole is still wide open after it.
Apparently, his butthole has facial expressions.
I mean, I don't know if I can speak for you guys, but I think I can say with 100% certainty, I've never had my ass gape from a poop. Never.
I mean, again, I can't see it. That's the thing. But we've talked about pooping and it being sore, your butthole being sore, kind of burning afterwards. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about.
But
he's
I always wipe my ass.
Canadian ways of putting it.
I wipe my ass after I poop, and I've never been wiping and whoa, whoops, fell right in.
I don't know that he means. I think he means since he's staring at it, he does see that it doesn't snap back right away. Maybe. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I shouldn't be.
He noticed
maybe,
a little
maybe because he's got his face down there watching the reflection, he sees that it takes a minute for it to go back to normal.
I wonder if he ever grabs the bottom of the toilet bowl to kind of pull himself closer to the reflection so he can get a better look.
Or if he has a magnifying glass that sits next to the toilet. So
I am imagining him with the sides of his his temples resting on his thighs.
Yeah, just cheering it on. Poop, 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 poop.
You know what
his
makes me
face
feel
all the way down there.
You know what makes me feel bad is this guy definitely gets more pussy than I do.
Jesus Christ.
It still feels like you have to poop, but you know it all came out because it was huge. You guys ever had either of these happen?
No.
I'm sure you've had the butt shock, but
nope.
The poop splash?
Nope.
I
splashback facial? I didn't know if you ever had that. All right. Thanks, guys. I love listening to you. I'm a mailman. You make my days go easy. Have a good one.
Awesome. He coined 2 or 3 new poop phrases.
Poop splashback facial.
Jeez. Yeah. It's pretty literal. I know exactly what you mean.
Good Lord. All right, well.
Is his name Kevin too?
I couldn't tell if he said Kevin or Ken.
What does the Google Translate thing say?
Ken. But
there it is. Well,
I mean,
Plot twist.
We've heard Google Translate be wrong before. So who knows?
Let's give him Ken. Let's make him Ken.
All right.
Canada Ken.
Pooping Canada Ken.
Canada.
No. Yeah.
Trying too hard.
Let's leave it at Canada Ken.
All right, here. No pressure on this next person, but good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Following Canada Ken.
You better voicemail with just your asshole.
Hello, it's me, Tilda Swinton. My good friend, Mike Hopkins, over at Amazon, said you, Kevin Kraft, would be a great fit for a body double for any topless scenes in a new film I'm working on with him, but lesbian gymnasts in the 1940s. If you could, please reach out to me and my people about this film. Good day.
I mean, I don't want to slander my twin Tilda Swinton, but I don't think it would be a good fit. At this point, my tits are way too big to double for Tilda.
You've been dieting a lot recently, I thought, right?
No.
It's fallen off.
Yeah. Myself and
Rent. You better be careful. Yeah, Rent might. You don't think she might not be against that right now and to your face, but once you get to a certain weight.
She keeps telling me that I'm crazy. I think I'm a fat piece of shit. I think I'm disgusting. And
well, I mean, when you put it that way, Kevin, that does sound a little bit like body dysmorphia. You're in no way. You're still the skinniest of the three of us.
Yeah,
you
but
didn't sell yourself on Bumble that way, did you?
If I didn't have salami tits, it would look way better. But everything I eat goes straight to my nipples. They're like the turkey timer of when I've officially let myself go.
Are we maybe sure that it's fat and not
big nipple syndrome?
Milk?
Well, no. See, it's a fine line to walk because I'm also in the same boat. But we are becoming men of a certain age, and maybe it's
you have menopause.
It's a low testosterone, high estrogen issue, and not
abort. This is not a topic that I want to cover. I was told that soy milk has estrogen, and I just fucking threw it all in the garbage. This was 7 years ago, and I stopped drinking soy milk as a healthy alternative. I do not like estrogen talk or low T talk. Kevin, Shuddy, your guys' tea is great where it's at.
Well, but I mean, if Kevin and Rent are really considering having children to name them Danger in the Middle, needs to make sure he doesn't have low T.
How many fucking heavy topics are we going to discuss? Let's get back to blowback poop facial.
Yeah, God forbid I have a kid and then he tries breastfeeding on my saggy witch tits because he thinks I'm mom. Yeah, let's abort. Okay, here's another voicemail.
Mad Scientist Party Hour. What's up, my dude? Kevin, question for you. This is regarding the Alec Baldwin incident. So far, I haven't heard anybody mention the poor bastard that wrote the screenplay. Can you imagine? One of your screenplays finally gets picked up. Alec Baldwin is going to be the star. And then he shoots somebody dead on the set. Fucking hell. Anyway. Just thought of that while I was hearing the coverage and thinking, that sounds like something that probably would happen to Kevin. Anyway, love the show, guys. Keep up the good work.
There he goes. There,
yep.
He landed it.
I mean, yeah, that whole fucking thing is just god awful. I mean, could you imagine? I know some people were like stoked and like gleefully dunking on him because Alec Baldwin has different political views than them. But like, could you imagine that if you just obviously it's an accident if you're given a fucking live gun on a set that's supposed to be a prop gun in a blank, and then you are the one who fires the bullet that kills somebody. Like, obviously, it's a just awful mistake and fuck up, but that is life-changing guilt for the rest of your days. Like, I can only imagine, like the supposedly the guy that pulled the trigger on the prop gun that killed Brandon Lee during The Crow just retired and was like, Yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
For sure. I mean, I'd assume. Not actually. I'm not going to assume, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if Alec Baldwin didn't act again.
Yeah,
I mean that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know how. I mean, you're not. You guy's a fucking actor, right? I mean, it's the softest occupation there is. One of the softer occupations, like dealing with like bloodshed and murder. That's not an actor. That's not what they do. You know, like I would imagine this would kind of be the end of his career, but I don't know.
I mean, just everybody involved. That's just nightmare fuel for everybody. I mean, obviously, the woman that lost her life in a family got it the worst. It's probably going to be life-changing trauma for Alec Baldwin. And then everybody else that was on the set that witnessed it, that's fucking horrifying. And, you know, it's low down on the list, but obviously people are going to be, their livelihood's going to be affected by that. Not everybody that works on a film set is getting paid buckets of money. There's a lot of people that just, I mean, I had a very, very brief stint working in TV, and I was bottom of the barrel bitch boy just getting stuff. And I was talking to other people, like people that were producers on the show, and they're like, yeah, this is a really rough life because you do kind of live paycheck to paycheck, and you work on a TV show for like 3 months, the season's done, and then you have to find a new gig. Like multiple times a year, you're just applying for new jobs over and over and over, and at any moment, your livelihood could just, you know, disappear. Like you just hit a dry spell and you're not finding any work, you're fucked. So yeah, I mean, just all around, that really sucks ass.
Is that excuse me, is that why it's like super important to become like join a union? Doesn't that guarantee you work?
I can't even pretend to know how it all works.
We should unionize.
I had such a short stint. I'll do a podcast union?
Yeah, let's start a union, guys.
I hear Leonard the Weed Pickle right now lawyering up.
Yeah, we need to get the Barstool
as long as
because
it's not Poopstachio.
Their fucking podcasts are worth more money. We just need to get high valuable people or highly profitable podcasters into our union, and then they'll raise the money that we make. That's how it works with the NBA and the NFL, at least. You know, LeBron James raises everyone else's salary. Yeah. I like how this guy was thinking, like putting himself in the screenwriter's shoes. Like, all right, so are they still going to make my movie or? Like, yeah, it sucks for
Well,
Alec
I mean,
Baldwin.
at this point,
what
the
about
screenwriter's already been paid for at least been paid for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's been financially compensated for sure. However, like, it's not a good look on the resume, right? It's like, what movie did you do? Well,
I wrote Rust.
It didn't come out actually, but it was at the finish line.
I mean, you take that whole fucking horrible situation out of it. As somebody who's desperately trying to sell a screenplay and break through into that industry, and I mean, at some point, yeah, you want money, but I would suck someone's fucking bunghole off just to get one of my scripts made, just to be able to see it on the screen.
Right.
At least the first one, that would be payment enough.
Yeah, go to the theater, see your name in the credits. Like that's what you know. That's half the fun there. And then you start, you know, wanting to make money for property and legacy and all that other shit. But the first, at the same point, it is a conversation starter, right? Oh shit, you did that movie? Yikes, bro. You know, so I don't know. That was an interesting voicemail, though.
Hey,
angle.
There are more voicemails. But out of nowhere, I'm on the brink of shitting my pants. So, Shuddy Boy, would you mind handling some business while I'm gone?
No, not at all. Mad Scientist Party Hour. Breaking news with Shuddy Boy. We have the final MSPH Wrestling X announcement. Maybe it's the final. It's wrestling, and it's number 3. So we'll say maybe it's the final. I shouldn't have said that with such confidence because I'm not completely positive. It is Saturday, December 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Dom's Twitch channel, www.twitch.tv/DomV311. Are
we doing Zoom this year?
Yes.
Or this event?
Sorry, I got a work message and got derailed. We have a steel cage match for the MSPH Canadian Championship. First to climb out of the cage is the winner. It is Bucci's versus T-Bone versus Bill Jackson Jr. Bill Jackson Jr. versus Bonesy.
There's at least one non-Canadian in there. Although T-Bone technically is in Buffalo, so it's damn near Canada. I wonder.
Yeah, so then Bill Jackson is not Canadian.
He's not?
He's not.
All right, cool. Hopefully one of the Americans can take the Canadian belt. That's what the belt that they're fighting for, right? The MSPH Canadian belt for the.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. All right,
correct.
Cool.
You are correct. It's weird doing this without Kevin.
Yeah, well, he's in the middle of a shit
pooping.
emergency.
He's pooping.
How long do you think it'll take him to come back? Because usually, I feel like he doesn't even really sit down. He just fires it and then runs back.
He really is quick. I don't know how he does it.
I don't think he wipes. What's the
next?
It
must be.
What's the next match on the card? I think Dom said there's 10.
I only have one more. There's another. It does say in the email that there's another. The final announcement is next week.
Nice. Well, so the third of 4 announcements, perhaps.
Correct. It is an anything goes 15-minute Iron Man match for the MSPH Hardcore TV Championship. Whoever gets the most pinfalls within 15 minutes wins. And we are introducing ARTW, a real true warrior, versus the champion, the Dragon, Jeff Clark.
Oh, man. I can't wait to fuck up Art and his wrestling alter ego. Hopefully I have 2 bitches coming out to the ring with me. I'm trying to discuss that with management. I got the GOAT and hopefully Little Mama, but we'll see. I'm trying to go for 10 straight victories in MSPH. I'm training. I ran 4 miles before the podcast. I can't fucking wait. I love these events, dude. I love these events. It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And the tag team championship match and the Royal Rumble participants will be revealed next week. The card is stacked with over 10 matches and is shaping up to be the biggest MSPH wrestling event yet.
I was so fucking drunk at the last one.
Were you?
Yeah, I somewhat held it together, but I ended up puking later that night and
oh my god,
fucking passing out in my bed, just shit roasted. I looked like that guy. Did you guys see there was a dude at a basketball game this weekend sitting courtside that threw up all over the court, and they had to have a 10-minute delay. He got so wasted he just puked all over the front of himself and on the court. And I have 3 screens, right? And that was one of the games that I was betting on, and it was in this weird break, and they were just had all these weird camera shots of the crowd of the basketball players, but no one was playing. So it was it felt like one of those situations where there was a streaker on the court. There was something clearly irregular happening and I couldn't figure it out. And then I guess on Twitter, Barstool posted that just some guy just puking all over the front of himself and he's literally courtside. That almost happened to me in the last MSPH wrestling Zoom.
Oh my god.
I was fucking wasted.
So the guy, it was confirmed that the guy was wasted and not
Oh yeah,
sick.
Yeah, no, he was drunk as fuck. Yeah,
I wonder if you get your
himself.
courtside privileges revoked if you barf all over the place because you're so wasted.
I don't know. It's tough. It's obviously situation by situation. They were playing at the Sacramento Kings, or it was a Sacramento Kings game. It's not the Los Angeles Lakers. If the Los Angeles Lakers guy in the front row gets his seats revoked, someone will buy them that night for however much money. You know what I mean? Sacramento Kings, they don't turn tickets around that fast. So maybe like he was just a really, really, really rich guy's child, and they'll figure it out. Plus, it's like, I don't know if he wasn't belligerent, if he was just really that drunk. I don't know. Maybe give him a pass. That's super embarrassing though. Like straight up, like the game was straight up like on hold for like 10, 15 minutes. It's like, what the fuck is happening?
To clean up the vomit?
Yeah, the guy puked all over himself, and then just like eventually leaned over, so he puked on the floor. And he's like, I mean, he's literally the court side seat, so like his puke like got onto the court.
Man, that just for some reason reminds me of this time when I was partying with our friend Anthony one time in Jersey, and he brought this guy that looked like Wimpy from Popeye, and the guy was like, I will gladly pay you on Tuesday for a cheeseburger today. You don't know this guy?
No.
Look up Wimpy Popeye. Wimpy from Popeye.
Yeah, I'm looking him up now. I
Okay.
don't remember this guy.
So he looked just like this fucking guy. And he was like just progressively getting more and more drunk to the point where he had to plop his ass down on a recliner and just sit back. And I look over and he's just like not even like doing the hunch over like dry heave thing.
He just open his mouth and just pour it out.
His mouth just opens and vomit pouring out all over him, running down his shirt, all over his lap, all over the chair. And he's just sitting there, and the expression on his face was just deadpan. He was just like, barf. It was fucking hysterical. The fact that he looked like Wimpy made it so much better.
Is he like still in like your crew of friends? Like, is he still?
Oh, I mean, that was the first and last time I ever saw that guy.
Okay. He didn't make a strong first impression.
Let's get one or two more voicemails, and then we can move on. Let's see what this human says. Oh, I see. Uh-oh.
You bitches is stupid. Stupid. Oh, God. Oh, God. December 4th, I'm gonna powerbomb your ass, cool beans. Oh, God. Oh, God.
This is the $1 trillion man.
I'm getting a promo cut on me right now.
I'm gonna ram my $11 trillion up your ass and then shit a cow salad on your man. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Not bad. Not bad. He's going to shove $11 trillion up my ass and then barf a Cobb salad on me. I think that's what he said. All right.
Sounds right.
Way to work in all the material.
It fits right after the MSPH wrestling announcement.
Oh, yeah. I missed all of that because of my violent pooping.
Did you get any poop blowback facial? What is that called again?
I tried to look, and that guy must have a bigger bowl than me because I could not see my asshole. I might need a flashlight. Maybe if I had a flashlight.
Is that what took so fucking long?
No, it was just right when I sat down, a whole bunch of poop came out, and then my stomach felt like there was still more poop, but it never came. So it's just like, all right, that's a problem for later. All right, let's do one more voicemail.
I wish you would step back from the ledge, my friend. You would cut ties with all the lies that you've been living in.
So that's Don't Die.
If you do not want to see me again, I would.
Is this Eve 6?
No, this is Third Eye Blind.
Matchbox 20?
One of those.
Oh, this is going to kill me.
Two Doors Down?
It's too insane. I sing over a secret plane.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell's going on now? Is it the same song?
Do you think they're like faces are next to each other, like Steven Tyler and Joe Perry?
Yeah.
On the
No,
mic?
they did it over
Fighting
the
over
computer like they did the last multiple
Oh yeah, that's right.
people voicemail.
I prefer the way that I thought about it. They're just like face to face on the voicemail. Like, all right, let's sing. Let's get in unison.
Well, that was a beautiful song, lads. I mean, there's like 20
man.
seconds left if you want to hear it. Or did you get the gist?
No, that covers it. I think
Okay.
that was beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Much appreciated. Voicemail's on fire today. Thank you, guys.
It's really gonna kill me. Who sings that song? It is. I think it's either Third Eye Blind or.
It's Third Eye Blind. It's Jumper.
Yes.
Right?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jumper. That's Third Eye Blind.
So when I was in middle school and high school, I had a friend she had a cat named Jumper. And then that song came out, and I'm like, all I could think about was those guys serenading her cat. Made that song very silly to me. Hey, did you guys watch anything?
I watched one episode of Cowboy Bebop, and we could talk about that since I know you watched it. I just want to do this one real quick. You have Paramount Plus, right?
I do. I signed up for a free year because I have T-Mobile.
Have you seen Mayor of Kingstown yet?
No, that's the Jeremy Renner show, though, right?
Yeah. With what's his face? Kyle Chandler, I think his name is.
Yeah, that's a guy.
Kyle Chandler's in it. Yeah, that's his name. And I don't know who else is in it. Diane West, who is a face that I recognize, but I didn't know her name until I just read it.
Do you mean Diane Wiest?
Yeah. No, there is Diane Wiest. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, I've only watched the first.
Is she a mammal?
Oh my God!
Yes.
Well,
we're not gonna do that again.
Oh yes, we are.
The fuck is a mammal?
If anybody is wondering where this drop came from,
the fuck is a mammal?
You have to sign up for Patreon because, Jesus Christ, we just do. We bullshit a little bit on there. For anybody who's never heard one of our Patreon shows. And then we do Shuddy...
Somehow lower brow than this.
Yeah. And we do Shuddy Boy's fucking news. And Shuddy Boy just did a news story that somehow spawned this.
The fuck is a mammal?
And then we played a game with Jeff, Is This a Mammal? And you're welcome. It is some of the finest podcasting we've ever done. I highly recommend you check it out. Patreon.com/MadScientistPartyHour.
Well worth the subscription of $5.
Oh my God, easily.
I think I got a couple of them right.
I mean, it just so somehow worked out that episode 200 of our Patreon that we recorded last week was one of, if not the most epic Patreon show we ever did.
Oh my God. Just because I'm retarded when it comes to animals. We all knew that already. Is a mammal. It just further it was highlighted last week in episode 200.
What's the succulent?
Subscribe to Patreon. Anyways,
Jeff is always asking the hard-hitting questions of life.
What's the succulent?
The fuck is a mammal? Yeah, it's subscribe to our Patreon and we break down those hard-hitting topics. I learned something. Apparently, mammals, they breathe oxygen.
One of the qualifying factors, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's my foundation of if this person or if this thing is a mammal or not.
And,
anyways,
plants do take in some sort of chemical, so they're mammals. So you were saying about Paramount Plus?
The fuck is a Mayor of Kingstown? Sorry,
the mammal of Kingstown.
Please watch it, Kevin. I think it's the worst thing I've ever seen. It is so bad. It was so fucking bad.
Not the response I was expecting.
I couldn't believe that Jeremy Renner was in this because he's a pretty good actor. Kyle Chandler's pretty good. Like some of the actors in there aren't terrible, but the writing is so bad. It brings down the acting. Like the story is cringe. Everything about it's cringe. And like I was immediately out. Like I gave it a full, like I gave it an actual honest chance. But then the first scene was a narrated monologue that ended in "I am the mayor of Kingstown," and then just immediately I got douche chills. Like, oh, here we go. Like you can't end the opening monologue with the title of your show. Like that's not a good sign.
I have some information here for you, Jeff, that I don't know how it's going to make you feel. So I just looked it up on IMDb to see how bad it is. It currently has an average rating of 7.8 out of 10.
No way. No way.
I went on the only website that matters to you, Rotten Tomatoes.
Fuck you. I'm actually looking at the IMDb right now, and it does say 7.8. Unreal.
The audience score for Mayor of Kingstown is 78%. The critics, the average tomato-ometer from critics is 29%. It is rotten from the critics.
So, I hate siding with those douchebags. I would much rather be with the populace of the people. But I'm telling you, this was terrible. Kevin, you have to watch it. There's a scene. I can't even describe it that accurately because it was so fucking stupid. Where Jeremy Renner confronts a confidant or someone that he's working with on the streets, right? Who's supposed to be like a thug. And this thug and his homies pull out their guns on Jeremy Renner, and somehow he pulls the gun away from one of their guys, grabs the guy and holds him by gunpoint, and then steals another one of their guns, and they're just like all pointing guns at each other, threatening each other, except it's Jeremy Renner versus 15 guys.
And he's already stolen multiple guns?
Yeah, you're just watching. It's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I will say there is a scene in a strip club, and all the girls are far too hot for Michigan. They're all like Michigan 13s. I guess that's where the show takes place. That was cool. Saw some titties, but man, it was impossibly terrible. And you almost have to watch it now, Kevin, because apparently the audience is completely against me on this one. It's stunning. I couldn't get past the first. I watched the first full episode. It was really one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I can relate because I know Shuddy Boy is your low water mark for how bad a movie can get still. The Dead Don't Die. Is that the name of that movie?
Oh, it's not Two Guns. What the fuck is?
Oh, the one you guys did
Mean
on
Guns.
Mean Guns from What the Fuck Did I Just Watch?
That's my. Mm-hmm.
Which is the Jim Jarmusch zombie movie? Because I know you despise that too.
The Dead Don't Die.
Okay. So that was the low water mark, and then you saw Mean Guns?
Yep.
Okay. So for me, it's that movie Annette, the Amazon original it's like a musical with Adam Driver. It got like really good reviews, good audience review, good critic review. I watched that with Rent, and we were laughing hysterically at how horrible it was from start to finish. Abysmal. One of the most stupid, fucking pointless, insulting, awful, awful, awful movies I've ever seen, and it blew my mind that people were into it. So it happens, Jeff. It happens.
I will say, maybe I had such high hopes for it because I do like Jeremy Renner and Kyle Chandler, and like the I don't know, just the trailer looked like something I would be interested in. So the fact that it was so terrible, so underwhelming, maybe I'm just like overly critical because of which, but I'm very interested in hearing your review on it if you have time to watch it. I know it's tight between family and just it being Thanksgiving week. Also, Thanksgiving, the first post-COVID South Park Paramount Plus episode comes out Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, I saw that it was streaming. Like it's actually going to have which doesn't make sense to me. Like it was like airing. Like airing. What are you talking about? You're a streaming service airing.
So it's dropping at a specific time?
I think so.
You have to watch it, and then it doesn't just sit on the cloud?
It has to. It's got to stay listed, but
is that
the way they were promoting it?
Though?
Yeah, because I saw I was when I was in the hotel this weekend in Jersey, I saw I just put Comedy Central on when I was falling asleep, and they were running ads for it, like the Paramount Plus special, and it was like airing on. Their wording confused me. It made no sense, but I'm sure it'll still be up there.
Did it show footage? Did you see like anything from the actual show? Does it look cool?
So it said it was their post-COVID special, and the clip that they showed was the kids as full-grown adults.
But it's still cartoon, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't know what to make about that.
They had a South Park that was live action, right? Didn't they do one episode where it was live action, or am I just...
I think they did have
shit?
Like a 2-minute thing where they hired like kid actors.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was just like one tiny part of an episode.
I like that their post-COVID special. It's waiting until the kids are adult to be post-COVID. I like that. That's clever. Those guys, I tell you.
Yeah, well, they're worth close to $1 billion at this point. Fuck, dude. They just keep signing more and more lucrative contracts for their content. How much money do you think they made off of Book of Mormon, too?
Oh, man. It had to have been a fortune. Just off of that alone.
It was the biggest Broadway show in recent memory up until Hamilton, I think, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So I had a little bit of downtime this weekend and spent a long fucking time in the airport to fly back to LA. So I had a lot of shit downloaded on my iPad to watch. And I managed to watch the entire series of the live-action Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
wow. I'm only one episode through. I thought it was pretty cool.
Real quick. I apologize for cutting this. But an article from Forbes from January 14th, 2013 says that Book of Mormon is bringing in $19 million a month.
Oh.
Whoa. So you got to think each of them are seeing at least like $3 million a month just off of that, right?
At least. That seems fair.
Right, yeah.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Good for them. I mean, talk about people that earned it.
Yeah, and they never like sold out or really abandoned their original like core ethos or original philosophy. They just still do controversial shit that they like can sneak through with fucking cartoon characters.
Yeah. I mean,
they sneak it through by putting stuff that's even more offensive in. So that way the focus is on that really terrible stuff, and the moderately terrible stuff gets ignored because
and like all they're playing with house money because they should have been canceled if they were like a long time ago. So now that they can't, it's just like, hey, all right, whatever. I guess,
yeah. I mean, South Park has been around so long that when it first came out, I wasn't allowed to watch it, and I'm almost 40.
I remember like kids talking about it when I was in 5th grade, and like everyone being like, "You got to see South Park, got to see South Park," and I think that was like the first or second season, and just like I found it when I was in 6th grade. Right? Yeah, I was in 5th grade, and it would be 96. So that math doesn't even really check out. I guess it was the end of 5th grade.
So I am kind of curious about like your thought. I know you just said you liked the first episode, but Cowboy Bebop, beloved anime series. I got into it way late in the game, but I remember loving it. It's kind of like a futuristic, almost cyberpunky bounty hunter show. And each episode is kind of its own thing, although there is a thin string of continuity between all the episodes, I think there's like a 2-parter here and there, but for the most part, each episode is them pursuing a particular bounty. And it was wildly successful, but I saw something because I was looking it up, and I'm like, why would they only make 26 episodes of this? There is this anime called One Piece, and it's basically like a pirate anime. It just this past week put out its 1,000th 1,000 episodes of that show exist. And Cowboy Bebop, a beloved show, made 26 episodes. And I saw that when it premiered, it was, wildly, hugely successful and stuff, but Japan was going through a really weird, violent time, and the show is kind of violent. So they felt weird continuing it. So they just stopped making the show.
So why don't they go back to it?
Well, they did eventually put out a movie. I don't know what year it came out, and I haven't seen it because it's kind of hard to find. It's not streaming anywhere, and I think the American Blu-ray discs are out of print, so if you want to find a copy of it, they're super expensive. And then they have Region B copies available for cheap, but it's tricky to get a Region B disc to play on an American player. So I still haven't seen that. I know that the animated movie takes place somewhere in the middle of the series. It's not like a continuation after the 26th episode. They like wedged it in somewhere in the middle. But I do really want to see that. I hear it's good. I love the anime. The anime's great. When they've been teasing these little things about Cowboy Bebop, like when they put out the first set pictures of John Cho in costume as Spike Spiegel, I was like, oh my God, that looks fucking awesome. He looks fucking great. This is incredible. People were bummed out about the version of Faye Valentine, the woman in the show, because in the cartoon she's very scantily clad and has comically oversized hooters that are spilling out of every outfit she wears. And this woman isn't, a barely naked sex kitten prancing around on screen. So all the fucking incels were pissed off about that.
I'm pissed too.
Yeah,
now
see?
that you're telling me
there's the insult.
news,
there's the reaction from the incels.
Now you're telling me what I should have expected or I could have gotten. I'm very pissed off.
And it got bad reviews. The critics didn't like it. I know anime enthusiasts are all fucking pissed off and screaming about this and screaming about that, screaming that it's too similar, and then people are screaming about the things that they changed. So anytime you take a beloved property like that, especially anime, and try to make it live action, it's a major uphill battle. I'm at this point in my life where I'm not actively seeking things to piss me off. I try to go into stuff with an open mind. And as somebody who loved the anime, I enjoyed this. I thought the series was cool. The special effects look great. Every time they're out in outer space, there's really cool shots. I like the style of it. There's stuff that's different. There's stuff that's the same. Not everything works, but I'd say a majority of it does. And if you go into it with an open mind, or like Jeff, having never seen the anime, I think it's a really fun show. There is some stuff at the end that they changed that was completely out of nowhere. And I get what people who are fans of the original anime didn't like about the end that they changed. But I don't know. I'm not looking to shit on an entire 10 episodes over one thing that they got wrong towards the end.
I think I'm in a better position to watch it. And me and Shuddy were talking about this earlier because Shuddy doesn't have much interest, so he didn't watch it. Maybe after the review, he'll be into it, but he's not familiar with like the source material. So that's why he wasn't eager to see it. But like, I think me not being familiar with the source material, I don't have anything to like, I don't have anything to have a bias against or have any reason to like, I don't know, want something or want one thing or wish that they did one thing or not the other. I guess now that I'm finding out that the female character is supposed to have huge voluptuous tits that are popping out of her clothes, I wish they had that. But otherwise, I don't know. It felt like a lot of fun. The action was cool. Granted, I'm only one episode in. This is an odd like thing, red flag that I have, or not red flag, but issue that I would raise. I feel like there's too much music playing over the action. If that makes sense. Like I feel like they could lower the audio and I don't know, less like goofy Japanese like action music while they're fighting. But otherwise, I thought it was cool.
That's a big part of the anime because it has a bit of a noir vibe to it, and the series is big on jazz. So the opening credits and the end credits use the original songs from the anime.
Yeah, and it was a cool like jazz tune.
Yeah, so the anime had tons of jazz going through the episodes, and the TV show's the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the action, the graphics are cool. What's his face? John Cho, right?
Yeah,
he was good. It was weird seeing him as an action star. Like every time I see that guy, the first thing that I think of is like, dude, that's the MILF. He's MILF from American Pie.
The guy that coined MILF. The first person to ever say MILF on screen, I think.
Did he? Okay. Did he create it?
The writers.
The writer, okay, for sure. But he was the first person to say it on.
Is that
anything,
whose mic
right?
is doing that?
That might be mine. I apologize. That was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's and whenever I see him, I just think of American Pie. But he has like this fucking huge career outside of that, obviously. And this, I don't know. I notwithstanding what the critics or the fans how they react to it, but this feels like a smash hit, or at least it's definitely gonna like bump him up a tier in the acting world. Maybe I'm tripping.
I hope so, and I hope they make more episodes. I hope the bitter fanboys don't derail this, because I had a blast watching it. I think it was cool as shit. And yeah, of course, they didn't nail every single detail perfectly, but I feel like people are so charged up to just hate things. You're still cool if you like stuff. You can enjoy things. You can take happiness out of life, and you're still cool.
Yeah, I know it's fun being edgy and shitting on things. Hey, I do it all the time. But just smile every now and then.
Yeah, as somebody who's been on both sides of the coin, I actually enjoy my existence better when I search for things to like and not things to hate.
Yeah, although I do run angry usually, so I do understand the other side. Kevin, I want to see you either not like debate, but just get into a conversation with someone who feels differently than you, but has also seen Cowboy Bebop.
I've seen it. Like I looked online to like look at, because Faye Valentine was trending on Twitter, and I'm like, oh boy, what are people saying? And I get some of people's arguments. It's not just that she doesn't have big floppy hooters spilling out. Yeah. And by the way, there is an episode where she shows up and meets Jet and Spike in like a diner or something, and she's wearing this ball gown, and she doesn't really flash him around, and it's not really all that important, but that actress is pretty stacked. Like,
I gotta look her up now.
I don't know. I think she's a fucking babe.
Daniela Pineda.
Yeah, I'm definitely into her. I think she's fucking hot. But yeah,
she is a missile.
I will say Cowboy Bebop, the anime is a fucking masterpiece. It's a classic. It's hard to hold the candle to that. Don't expect a masterpiece. Expect to have fun. And I think you will. It's an easy 3.75 dicker for me. And I think I'll probably rewatch it again on my TV and not on a tiny little iPad in an airport. But I did watch a couple movies, and I'll do a quick one because Shuddy Boy already hit it, and I still have 20 minutes left. I was trying to finish it before we started recording the show, but ran out of time. But I've been watching The Harder They Fall.
Oh, Idris Elba.
Yeah, I'm almost done with it, and yeah, that kicks ass. It's awesome.
It's a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's got there are moments where the tone and vibe is like a Tarantino movie, because like
that's very much so.
The dialogue is very clever, and the way it's shot has a lot of style. And I was definitely getting overtones of Tarantino here and there. Great cast, great action. It's fucking violent. It's funny. It's got an interesting story that hooks you in. I mean, so far I think I'm at a 4 dicker with it. Who knows what can change in the last 20 minutes, but so far, yeah, kicks ass, super fun. I'm with everybody else that liked it.
Good.
And the new movie I watched, because I really, really wanted to get to the theater somehow and see the new Ghostbusters, which I think is getting shit on by the critics, but I had multiple people reach out to me and say they saw it and absolutely loved it.
I almost went with my brothers. Well, my brothers almost went, and I was thinking about going, but they ended up not going, and I was just gonna watch sports. But there was talk in the Clark compound about seeing this movie, so your review will be passed along if it's a good one, or if it's a bad one.
If I can get to it, I'm going to try and see it tomorrow night.
Right.
But I downloaded off of HBO Max King Richard.
I saw some people on Twitter say that it was pretty good, but I don't respect their movie opinion as much as yours. So did you like this? And you have really no familiarity with the story, so you're getting it pretty fresh.
Tennis was pretty big in my household, so I just picked stuff up with my when I was little. My grandpa loved tennis, and anytime tennis was on, Wimbledon, all that shit, he always had it on TV. even if we were on like a family vacation, he would be inside with the TV on watching Wimbledon or whatever the big tennis matches are. So throughout my life, I played tennis growing up, which would probably surprise anybody who's ever seen me run.
For sure.
I was halfway decent. I enjoyed playing tennis, but I never watched it. I never got into sports. I liked the little bit of playing them that I did more than watching other people do it.
Tennis is a no bullshit sport. That is fucking hard. Any of those like single person, you're in the arena yourself sports takes like another level of like mental toughness. And
this was before I had salami tits and I was a child with energy and could run and not get winded. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but I don't know. I clearly
back in your athletic prime, we'll say.
I'm aware of the Williams sisters, but not knowing anything about their story or I don't know anything about any tennis player. So I didn't really have too much interest in seeing this, but since I couldn't really get to the theaters or see anything new, this was the best way I could see a new movie to review for MSPH. And the runtime turned me off when I was looking into it. I'm like, oh, God, it's almost 2.5 hours. Please, everybody, tell more fucking concise stories, for the love of God. But I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. It was really good. It took a little bit of adjustment with Will Smith in character as their dad, because he's got a really weird way of talking. Like, he kind of talks like an old Southern guy, and then works in 1920s gangsters, like, I want one of those cheeseboigers. Ooh, it fell on the ground on my foot, and that Hoyt, that cheeseboiger. But and it was like, like I just said, I wasn't familiar with the story, and half the time I'm watching this, and I'm like, man, this motherfucker, what a devoted dad, what a great guy. And then stuff starts happening, and I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot, what are you doing? Spoiler alert, the Williams sisters end up being successful. I hope that doesn't ruin the movie for anybody.
No, I knew that.
But you're watching this movie, and you're like, how the fuck did these two girls make it with this jerk-off gumming up the works and fucking everything up? Like, people are throwing them offers, and he's like, no, I'd rather have a cheeseboiger. Like, what? No! Yeah. Stop it! Yeah. Stop!
Yeah, it's an interesting story because he's like both like their biggest, like, I don't know, the one of the major reasons why they became so successful, and him driving them and like raising them in a house of tennis, whatever the fuck that means. Obviously, is huge to their career, but he also like slowed down their career at spots with just like awkwardness, like really kind of just, I don't know. This is how he was. This is what you get.
It blew my mind because, as everybody knows, to get to that level in any field, skill alone will not take you there. You also need luck. Yeah. And this motherfucker gumming up the works like that, I couldn't believe myself. Like, half the time I wanted to strangle him, and half the time I'm like, man, what a fucking G. Because he is, like, he's not, what I hear, like Tiger Woods' dad to be, just overbearing and just sun up to sundown, hit fucking balls, no time to play, no rest, no being a kid, and he was very insistent that this is fun. You guys are going to be the best. You're going to be the GOATs. You'll be the best to ever do it. You're going to be mega millionaires. But you're going to have fun. You're going to focus on your schoolwork, and you're going to be kids. And there were parts where he was just like, you know what? I'm getting a little skeeved out by all this shit. Fuck practicing. We're going to Disney. You're going to be kids for a day. And it was cool seeing that. I don't give two shits about tennis. I did not expect to like this, but I got really into it. I thought it was good. The acting was great. The kids they got to play, the Williams sisters were awesome. Had really touching moments, and Will Smith fucking killed it. It's a four-dicker. I know it's
Does Will Smith get an Oscar nom for this movie?
I could see it. I don't know if he will, but if it happened, I would not be surprised at all. He was fucking good.
Nice. Dude, I love Will Smith. I want Will Smith to make a comeback.
You should watch it, man. It's good.
I should. I might check it out because I'm not going to leave in my house this weekend.
For somebody who doesn't give a flying fuck about sports biopics, it was awesome.
I mean, yeah, that review goes a long way. I'm interested, and the Richard Williams story is very interesting in and of itself, just because of like how successful his kids were. Like Venus Williams was like on her way to becoming the greatest tennis player ever, and then she had this little sister Serena, and was like, oh yeah, Serena's awesome too. And then just one day, like Serena just passed her, and Serena Williams is widely considered the greatest woman athlete ever.
And it's also kind of hysterical and also incredibly weird that he was just like, you know what? I have a business idea. Hey, wifey, I'm going to cream pie you a couple of more times because trust me on this, but we need 2 more kids for this. For this plan to work, we need 2 more kids. Like, he just had them as a business investment. And he like says it in the movie.
Well, what DNA he must have, because I couldn't shoot 2 loads.
Yeah, could you imagine betting on yourself that strongly?
Not even yourself on your cum. Like wait until you see what my sperm do.
Yeah, if you're like, you know what? Golfers are really killing it. I feel like golfers make a lot of money. Let's get some cream pie sessions in and make a couple more babies, and we're gonna raise them to be professional golfers.
I mean, for sure.
Why hasn't anybody else thought of this? Yes, fill me up, sir. Did you guys see anything?
Well, to pivot off of that,
yeah, cream pies.
Hey, speaking of cream pie,
we watched in its entirety Tiger King season 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have no interest in watching it, but I am interested in hearing your thoughts.
You have to watch it.
For real?
Wow, is it that good?
I'm so Tiger Kinged out.
It's part Tiger King, part Don't Fuck with Cats, part sideshow. It is nuts. It's more nuts than the first season.
So
wow.
That's kind of crazy. I was just thinking about Don't Fuck with Cats the other day, and that might be still the best documentary that Netflix has put out.
Because there is. Good.
Have you seen that yet, Kevin?
I can't.
Why?
It'll fuck me up.
All right. Well, I don't know. It's really good.
People being mean to animals for some reason I can't take it, and I'll get filled with murderous rage.
That is just such a small part of that docuseries from what I remember.
Right, yeah.
It's more about they saw him being mean to cats or being cruel to cats.
Like beating them and drowning them, right?
And turned on him and made sure to double down their efforts on stopping his murder spree.
Yeah, like all the douche shows that you got from the Elisa Lam web sleuth stories and all those characters.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite of these guys. They're actually they actually did sick work. It's like, fuck, dude. Like how they invest,
But there's one of those internet. So Tiger King season 2 made me salty at some things, like this fucking podcaster that looks like just a big fucking doofus that's making enough money to have a mansion in Oklahoma that he calls the Sausage Castle.
What? Wait, so he's getting that many chicks? Is that why he calls it the Sausage Castle?
It's apparently, it's got video games, stripper poles, just guns everywhere. It's fucking...
That's sweet.
Oh, it's because... Yeah, it's the Sausage Castle because no chick wants to go in there.
And then this fucking internet sleuth Dick Bing Boing that's trying to help Don Lewis's family get Carol Baskin. Everybody in this is trying to be so outlandish to get their 15 minutes of fame. Like that.
See, that would piss me off. Just like watching all these people.
Part about this.
I mean, is there any new information?
Does Carol Baskin look guiltier in killing Don
Well,
Lewis?
they go in. Yes, because she's not in this at all.
Yeah, so she's trying to sue Netflix over it.
Yeah, because they use clips of her from season 1.
Oh.
And apparently she does videos of her daily journal entries.
I can't believe anybody gives a fuck about that.
That's fine, right?
So, well, she says things in them that absolutely seem to incriminate her in the disappearance of Don Lewis.
Okay. I like that.
And there is more, like 2 episodes. It's short. I think it's 5 or 6 episodes long.
Yeah.
And 2 episodes are devoted to Don Lewis. Apparently, which this is funny because I feel like if things would have gone differently, we would have heard about it. But apparently there were people there petitioning the president for a pardon for Joe Exotic on January 6th at the Stop the Steal rally. Oh,
there was a Joe Exotic presence at the riots?
They were there holding banners that said "Free Joe Exotic," and you see them get chased out of there by the serious Trumpers and how it's not a place for that.
Oh, those fucking bitches! You know, I wasn't mad about that whole story until you just brought that up. God damn it!
But then,
how dare you?
Not to spoil too much, then they really focus on Carol going after Jeff Lowe.
Okay.
And what comes from that. And he is just the scummiest, skeeviest, grossest human. That guy is just...
Yeah, he seems like a sleazebag.
Yeah, Jeff Lowe is not very chill. Isn't he from Long Beach originally?
I
thought he was. Maybe I'm tripping.
But
yeah, it beats me.
It was fun. We burned through it in 2 days. We could have done it in 1 if we didn't start it so late, but it was enjoyable. I'd rate it. It's definitely not as good as the first, because Joe Exotic is in prison and couldn't have as much of a presence as he did in season 1.
Yeah.
But it was good. I'd give it 4 dicks because it was a light, easy watch. A lot of fun to watch super high.
How many episodes were in this Tiger King 2? The fuck
As I
is a
said
mammal?
A few minutes ago, 5 or 6.
The fuck is a mammal? Could be 5, could be 6. All right, whatever. My bad. Pulling up the Netflix app right now. We get an official answer. Not your fucking glib bullshit answer.
All right, well, while Jeff does that, I will thank the Puminati for listening to yet another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. We truly appreciate you all. If you wouldn't mind sending some positive vibes my family's way, could definitely use it. I really can't lose my dad. So appreciation and thank yous in advance. If you would like to hear more MSPH, like last week's epic 200th episode of our Patreon show.
The fuck is a mammal? Seriously, if anyone has the answer, just fucking text me.
Patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. We're going to do another episode right after this, 201. Keep them chugging along. And if you would like to see the show, YouTube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. You can subscribe, get alerts, like, comment. It all helps us with the algorithm. I'm pretty sure we're right up there with Ellis, where we say too many bad words and we're just out of the fucking algorithm. So the only way you're going to find us is if you actively seek us out. But
Do we have to reduce the profanity?
Is that really a thing?
Yes. Yeah, we have been demonetized on YouTube, the Ella Show, and Ryan Sickler, who regularly has Jason on as a guest, anytime Ryan Sickler has Joey Diaz or Jason Ellis show, or Jason Ellis on, those episodes are demonetized.
Because of too much swearing.
Yeah, and dirty content.
What? You guys?
Fucking crazy. But anyway, you can also follow us on Instagram. I'm at Kevin Kraft.
China. Sorry, at Shuddy Boy.
Jeffrey Records.
At What's a Mammal? At MSPH Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to send us some emails, it's simply madscientistpartyhour@gmail.com. But if you want to leave us a voicemail, call 201-472-0139 and leave a message after the beep. If you haven't done so, you can really help us out by going to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, subscribing, and leaving us a 5-star review. All very, very helpful. Check out Bet Slippin', the Bet Slippin' podcast, and you can hear Jeff's lovely voice talk more about sports and bets. I saw some emojis on your Twitter account, Jeff, that suggest maybe you did okay.
Yeah, I did really well in the NFL this weekend.
Nice.
Didn't do so well in the NBA, but I predicted the Houston Texans to beat the Tennessee Titans. Wrote that in an article and published it. I was like the biggest upset of last week and one of the biggest upsets of the year. Cashed a pretty nice ticket on that, but holy shit, did I get rear-ended last week by the NBA. Either way, though, it is just a daily podcast that I do covering the NBA most days, and I do one a week for the NFL. We'll be covering March Madness, all the golfing events, all the major sporting events. So thanks for shouting it out, Kevin, and hopefully the Puminati will check it out, at least the sports fans in the Puminati.
Yeah.
While we're talking about sports, have you checked your Final Fantasy football team, Kevin?
Kevin.
I did, you fucking cocksmoker. Can't believe you beat me by like 2 points or whatever.
Yeah, without his quarterback.
1.7 points with no quarterback playing.
And somebody on my team got 0 points. Was there a plane crash in the NFL that I don't know about? Everybody on my team is dead.
What happened that your player got 0 points is he didn't play yesterday.
That stupid bitch. What? I should get like sympathy points or something.
Well, you did put the Eagles' fourth string running back in your starting lineup.
I don't know what any of that means. That's some fucking line of spinach shit.
I mean, they're really the only way. There's nobody even on your bench that would have.
Everybody on my bench died.
So instead of John Cho, instead of his stunt double, instead of his nude body double, you put the fourth guy on the marquee. Not a good idea, right? If you're trying to win games.
Nope. I didn't.
But his other choice was Philip Lindsay, who ended up with negative 0.3 points. So Kevin would have lost by even more.
The other guy ran backwards a couple plays.
Yeah, how did he do that? Did he like get a slam dunk for the other team? What?
Negative 3 rush yards.
What a stupid bitch. Well, whatever. He was on the bench. My whole bench died. Everybody has like skull and crossbones next to their name. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, Alvin Kamara, if he would have played, would have been a much better choice than Kenneth Gainwell. And you definitely would have won. And I would have been sitting here bitching about how I forgot to put in the correct quarterback and how you beat the shit out of me.
Final Fantasy football is fucking bullshit.
So your goddamn winning streak has ended.
Goddamn each and every one of you for making me play this.
Dude, I pecker smacked Dylan the truck driver this weekend. I'm up 119 to 63 right now, and I'm projected to still score 150 points, and he's projected to get to 74. So I'm probably going to double him, and I've already doubled him. So it was an ass whooping. It was a huge get right spot for me. I still have an outside chance to make the playoffs, but my season could be pretty much over. Kevin, your season is going to be over after this week.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. Just put me out of my fucking misery.
I'm in dead last.
Shoot me in the face. Just fucking shoot me in the face. Well, Not anymore. You're gonna jump ahead of Kevin.
Yep, because I.
Yeah, you just chopped my dick off and beat me to death with it.
Now you're right behind me. I'm third to last.
Whatever.
God, we're in a embarrassment.
Hanzo's getting peckered, smacked by House Scudagera.
Yeah, those Scudegueras, you got to watch those things.
Rent is really kicking ass in this league.
Another reason.
I still demand to know who changed their team name to Rent. Who is this son of a bitch? You guys are really taking advantage of my Final Fantasy football ignorance here. All right, everybody. We'll catch you on Patreon. But until next time, eat something.